This video will help you with the crocheted swirly square motif. Be sure to download the written pattern from the notes below and click on any links in the video to take you to more in-depth instruction for any of the stitches and techniques I use here. I'm using American crochet terminology. I'm using Barocco Lannis 100% wool yarn and a 5mm hook. You should use whatever yarn and hook combination is going to give you the right fabric for a pillow. I'm also leaving a plenty long tail so I can weave this in later. Begin with a slip knot on your hook and chain 4. I do not recommend using a magic ring for this project. Slip stitch in the first chain to form a ring. Now the first round will be worked inside the ring, so you'll be putting your hook right into the ring, not into the chains. Round 1 is chain 6. This will count as a double crochet and a chain 3. So you'll see what happens as we continue to work. Single crochet in the third chain from the hook. So that's not counting the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet here. And I like to work under 2 loops. So just above that bottom loop. If you want to work in the back bump of the chain, you can do that if you want. There's my single crochet, and then 3 double crochets around the post of the beginning chain 3. So here I have 3 chains left. That's my beginning chain 3. I'm going to treat it like a double crochet, if you will, and I'm going to work 3 double crochets around that chain. So yarn over, go around the chain, and work a double crochet. That was 1, 2, 3. Not working into the chains, but working around that chain. Then treble in ring. So yarn over twice and work into the ring. Sometimes I have to wiggle around a little bit to find it. You can see my finger poking out. I'm also working over my yarn tail. I will come back and weave that yarn tail in later, but I like to work over it to begin with. There is my treble crochet. So this is kind of my first point, or my first corner, if you will. Now we start our repeats. Double crochet in the ring, then chain 3, single crochet in the third chain from the hook, so that's the first one down here. Then 3 double crochets around the post of the double crochet. So there's the double crochet we put in the ring. We're going to put 3 double crochets around the post. So you're just going into the space between the treble and the double and doing 1, 2, 3. Remember, you're working around the post of the double crochet, not into the ring at that point. Now treble in the ring. So now we're going back to the ring and working a treble. That's the first repeat, the first repeated section, or the part we're going to repeat again. So let's do that again. Double crochet in the ring, chain 3, single crochet in the third chain from the hook, and then put 3 doubles around the post of that double crochet. And then treble in the ring. And you can see that our points are kind of starting to show up here. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got one more because we're repeating that section 2 times, or 2 more times. double crochet in ring, chain 3, single crochet, 3 doubles around the post of the double, 1, 2, 3, and then treble in the ring. Now join with the slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the chain 6. Remember that chain 6 that's hiding under there? We worked double crochets around that post, so we may have to slide those double crochets around here to find that chain. If you don't hit it quite right, that's okay, but you want to slip stitch right in there to join the round. And there we have the beginning of our swirly square. I'm going to cut my yarn and fasten off you can see it's already starting to swirl. For round 2, I'm going to use a lighter color blue than I used in the pattern because I want you to be able to see this. For round 2, it tells me to join the yarn in any chain 2 corner. Remember when we had the chain 3 and then we single crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook? That means that left a little chain 2 corner here. So I can pick any of those. And the way I'm going to join my yarn is just stick my hook, insert my hook into that chain 2 space, and I can just use my hook to feel where the space is and yarn over and pull up a loop. I want to make sure I leave a long enough tail that I can weave in sufficient later. I've joined my yarn. Now I'm going to chain 3. That's going to count as a double crochet. Then I'm going to put 2 more double crochets in that same space. So you see where it's coming out, I'm going to put my hook right in there and put 2 more double crochets right there in that same spot. Then double crochet in the next single crochet. Now you may have to scooch your stitches over a little bit to find the top of that single crochet. Double crochet in the single crochet, then double crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to pull that yarn tail out of my way. That got me all the way across, and now I have reached sort of this point. Slip stitch in the next chain 2 corner space. So now I'm just going to work into that corner space. Can you see that that's a space right there? I don't know if you can tell that's a space, but I can feel it with my hook. Slip stitch. That kind of brings the top of this double crochet up level with that point that I have going on there. Repeat from asterisk around. So at this point I go back to my chain 3, put 2 more double crochets in that same space, and then double crochet in the next single crochet. And I have to scoot this around to get into that single crochet. Then double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 before I hit that next point. Then slip stitch in the chain 2 space. And then do that 2 more times. When you've done that and gotten all the way around, you will be slip stitching right here in the base of the beginning of the round. Then cut your yarn, leaving a nice long tail, and fasten off. Round 3 starts almost the same way. We're going to be joining in corners, but now we're not using corner spaces. We're using the top chain of that chain 3. So to join my yarn, I'll just put my hook into the top chain, the third chain of any chain 3, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So my yarn is joined. Then chain 3 and 2 double crochets in that same stitch. So right back there where I had joined my yarn, I'm going to put 2 more double crochets. And if I want to catch my yarn tail under those stitches, I can certainly do that. Then double crochet in the next 6 stitches. Make sure you don't miss that first double crochet here. So I'm going to double crochet right here in that first stitch. Again, I'm catching my yarn tail underneath, working over the yarn tail. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stop working over this yarn tail. I'm going to weave this in later. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have 1 stitch left on this kind of side I'm working on. Put 2 double crochets in that double crochet. I need to increase here. So now I've reached across that side and should be about level with the chain 3 on my next point. So I will slip stitch in the third chain of the chain 3 and repeat from asterisk around. So I'll do that same thing on the remaining 3 sides. Chain 3, 2 double crochets in the same stitch, at the end of the round, slip stitch to join, cut your yarn, and fasten off. The remaining rounds will be worked with 1 color, so we'll have to change the way we're working at the end of rounds just a little bit. But the round starts the same way by joining your yarn. This time I'm using the jade color. Joining your yarn in the third chain of any chain 3 corner. So right here, I'll join my yarn, leaving a tail, chain 3, and 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So you will hopefully find that familiar. Double crochet in the next 9 double crochet. Don't forget that first one that's a little bit hard to see. When I've worked the next 9 double crochet, you see I have 1 stitch left here on this side. That's where I'll put my 2 double crochets and then slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. And I will do that all the way around. Round 4 ends a little bit differently because not only do I need to slip stitch to join the round like I've been doing, but now I need to slip stitch in the next 3 chains. So that's the chain 3 that was at the beginning of the row. I'm going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3, and that brings me up to the top of that chain 3, which is where I want to start the next round. So it's like the other times when I joined my yarn, only this time I just slip stitched up to that point. that I needed to get to. So now to start round 5, I chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, and then the rest of this will look familiar to you. So I'm double crocheting in the same stitch 2 times. Then double crochet in the next 12. Don't forget that first one, which is kind of hard to see. So I have more along each side because of the increases that I've made. 2 double crochets in that last stitch before I get to my corner, then a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. So I'll go ahead and repeat that around on the other 3 sides. The end of round 5 ends the same way. I'll slip stitch in that 3rd chain and then slip stitch in the next 3 chains to bring myself up to the beginning of round 6. Now round 6 is where we start squaring off the swirly square here. Chain 3, double crochet in the next 2 double crochet. So I'm not increasing here. Double crochet in the next 1, 2, half double crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, single crochet in the next 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, half double crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, double crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, and then 2 treble in the next double crochet. So 1, 2. That brings me to the corner. Slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the chain 3 and repeat that around. You can see that it has started to square off. At the end of round 6, you join with a slip stitch. Round 7 is going to be a single crochet edging around the entire square, but we're starting right here, kind of not right at the corner yet. So we're going to have to deal with those chains along each edge. Round 7 begins with a chain 1 and then single crochet in the next 2 chains. That's right along that chain 3. So I'm going to single crochet in those 2 chains, and then I have 1 chain left where I'm going to put a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet all in that chain. So that is my corner where I've put 3 stitches in one, a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Then single crochet in the next 17 stitches. So that is just working along this edge. This is 17. Single crochet in the next slip stitch. Normally we don't single crochet in slip stitches, but we're going to right now. Single crochet in that slip stitch, and then we're starting the repeat again. So single crochet in the next 2 stitches, next 2 chains, and then in the corner, the top of that chain 3, it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Continue working around. The last round ends with single crochet in the next 17 stitches because we've come back to where we started the round, so we don't need to do those less single crochet. So now we're just going to join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet and fasten off. Next, you'll weave in your ends. If you'd like more crochet instruction like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the links in the video notes for other ways you can find me. Thanks for watching.